Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you guys are listening to this from. I am Mr. Live, and today we are going to be talking about a very important project. And if you are not familiar with this token launch that is going to be coming on the Solana blockchain, I highly suggest that you pay attention to the details that are going to follow in this message. So again, welcome all of you. I know that I have been absent for a while. I have been busy doing a bunch of things. It's also the summertime right now for me, so I've been busy doing a lot when it comes to enjoying life, but at the same time, really just getting things ready for what is to come in the next couple months. And so with that being said, we're going to start talking about this project on Solana that is literally, in my opinion, most likely going to be one of the most dominant projects of 2025. Now, let's get into a little bit of a backstory of why this project is very different. First and foremost, let's talk about memes in general. If you're not familiar with what a meme is essentially a character that is centered around a token or a coin that does not have a tremendous amount of utility. Hey Paul, good morning. Margin, good morning. And this token that typically does not have a lot of utility is just driven by the demand of the people that are buying the token. Purely driven by speculation. So if you look at a lot of the coin projects that are out there, so if you look at, for example, if you look at Brett on Base is a project that was created by one of the people who is a famous artist, and he has these 4 different characters, and basically took these 4 different characters and put them onto 4 different blockchains in crypto. And he launched all these different tokens. And by launching these tokens, they went up a lot in value. So you had Andy, you had Brett, you had Pepe, and I believe there was one more. And that was like the 4 horsemen, I guess you would consider. And all of these tokens were just driven by speculation. There was no utility. There is no utility for Pepe coin. Nothing. There is no utility for Brett. There is no utility for Andy. None of these coins have any utility or use case whatsoever. They are only driven by supply and demand. That's it. And their supply, meaning their maximum supply, is so high and exorbitant that it really doesn't ever give you a reason as to this token will have, like, you know, a 30 cent, a 40 cent, even a 50 cent value. None of that will happen. Why? Because the supply of the token is so high. So what did this Solana project do that's so different than all the other quote unquote meme coin projects that are out there? First and foremost, this Solana project called Sossana, and SOSANA in itself has a very funny acronym associated to it. So when you understand that, you have to understand that the reason why SOSANA was created was to save the Solana ecosystem. And you're probably wondering, what does that exactly mean? It's because of the fact that the Solana ecosystem has had a tremendous amount of projects launched upon it, where all of these projects, for the most part, are bullshit projects. They launch, there's somebody who's involved, they become way too greedy, and all of a sudden, overnight, that project dumps like crazy, and all the people are left wondering, why did I get involved with this project? Why am I even in cryptocurrency? So SOSANA wanted to create something different. And so when this token was created, and the purpose and utility and use case was created, it was to say, look, we understand that many of you have been burned before by all these projects that have not done the right thing. And so what we decided to do is to do the right thing. Instead of having a pre-sale, for example, there's a fair launch. When there is a pre-sale, there's a buildup of tokens, and that buildup of tokens usually is either given to KOLs like myself and other people, key opinion leaders, those who have influence, and essentially given to them for free, and then they can basically sell those tokens whenever they want, or they have a vesting schedule associated to them. So instead of doing that, they said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do a fair launch. And we're going to do that for everyone. And so the first time when this token launched, it was way back in April of 2025. Not way back, but April of 2025. When it launched in April of 2025, it was an extremely small project. The maximum amount of holders that we had at that point in time was 220. I myself was one of the first people to be involved with that project, and we'll talk about nominating system and other things as we go. But I was the first to actually nominate and win in that project as well. And we'll talk about what that means too. So, what SOSANA decided to do after the first go around, and basically the beta version of this launch, is to say, look, we took the token from 0007.0007 to 19 cents in 16 days. I don't know if you understand how large of an increase that is, but that's a big deal. And there were no promises, no guarantees, no nothing. This was developing the use case to see how it would do. And so as this project started to grow over the next couple weeks, when it had launched, people started to realize that this actually had some serious momentum. And so for a period of time, the chart went up like this, then stable, then went a little bit lower, and then shot up like crazy. Right? So to go from 0007 to 19 cents in 16 days is a huge accomplishment. But here's the funny part, because that was only the beginning. The actual full use case and utility was not even revealed yet. The only thing that happened was the first utility and use case, and I will get into that right now. One of the utilities and use cases of SOLANA is to have a voting and nominating system within the SOLANA ecosystem. So you can vote for 25 different projects, and if you hold $50 worth of SOLANA, you pay a very tiny gas fee, and you can nominate that project. And if that project wins, okay, so sorry, you can vote for that project, and if that project wins, then you get an equal distribution in that token for basically what had won. So let's say for example it was Alchemist on Solana, okay? And that's a solid AI project. So let's say Alchemist won. And let's say there was 10 people that voted for that project. Those 10 people would be divided out, and from the actual wallet, the transaction wallet that is coming in, you would actually be distributed those tokens. So that is the voting mechanism, and it happens for a period of 2 weeks. So prior to that, you have nominations. So you can have someone nominate a project on Solana if they hold $500 worth of SOLANA. Now, what does that immediately do? That incentivizes people to hold at least either $50 worth of SOLANA or $500 worth of SOLANA. So if you want to vote, you need $50 worth of SOLANA. If you want to nominate, you need $500 worth of SOLANA. And again, all you're doing is paying a gas fee. Now imagine, built into this is an affiliate model which will have extremely strong educational products to go with it. And I know we talk about educational products in the world of crypto, and typically when people launch these things, it's usually considered a Ponzi. However, the way that this is being done is something very, very different. And there is a 30-page light paper that explains the whole utility and use case of this project. But let me continue. So what happened originally is we took the token up to 19 cents by the end of April, and then the developer that they had hired, who they thought was someone who was really doing the right thing, ended up screwing them in the project. So he basically created a back door and unfortunately sucked the liquidity out of the project. Now, there's a good and a bad to that. The good is that the use case was developed. You saw people actually nominate projects. You saw people vote for projects. And you saw people win in those projects as well. Now, here's what I didn't tell you. What I didn't tell you is that after those 2 weeks of voting, the people in SOLANA are going to find out at 7 p.m. Eastern on that Sunday, 2 weeks later, they are going to find out what that token is that won, and for a period of 1 hour, people will be able to go and buy that token before the marketing wallet distributes that token to buy in the Solana ecosystem. Think about that for a second, because I want you to really understand what that means. What that means is that you have 1 hour to go and buy the winning token of a project where, let's say, potentially hundreds of people won in that project, and there was a lot of volume that came in via transactions during that period, and as a result, now you have all of this money that's going to be going from a marketing wallet to buy that token. So let's say, just as an example, to the same token, you hold Alchemist. And Alchemist market cap is, I don't know, I think it's like something like $17 million right now. But let's say the marketing wallet had $500,000 in it. If you knew that there was going to be $500,000 that was going to be going towards a token that you believe in and hold, do you think that you would go buy at least $100 worth of that token, so that when that market cap actually goes up in a matter of an hour, you're in a better position? It's just logic. When you understand the logistics of why this makes sense, it really is very unique and very different. Now, what you have to understand that's very powerful is that there were 220 holders in the V1 of this launch. And the version 2 most likely will be launching next week at some point. Last night we had 243 at one point people on the Zoom call. I said we had 220 holders the first version of the launch. We had 243 on a Zoom call. That does not include the hundreds of marketers that are already lined up to promote Solana, because how different and how unique this platform is. So we're talking about thousands of people, and honestly, millions of dollars that is being ready to be onboarded onto this project. So now when this token launches at well under a penny, now I'm not saying that you can buy it that low because it's going to be a fair launch. Thousands of people are going to be wanting to buy the token from day one. But I'm telling you this, there's something really special that you can take advantage of. And it's optional. But I want you to listen and pay attention. Now, there is a founder's benefit And it doesn't cost you a heck of a lot of money. Again, it's optional. You don't have to do it. You can just buy the token on fair launch and be done with it. Sell the token whenever you want. That's up to you. But if you're somebody smart, if you're somebody who understands value, if you're somebody who understands how to take advantage of an opportunity when it's given to you, then you might want to pay attention. This founder's benefit will cost you $99 one time in the Sossana token. Not in Solana, but in the Sossana token. So it stays within the ecosystem. That is going to give you every privilege under the sun in the Sossana ecosystem. That means it's going to give you a referral link to build an affiliate network, should you choose to, and essentially make extra Sossana tokens as a result of that. It's going to give you the ability to benefit from our educational system that is going to come on to Sossana. And this educational system, they're going to hire and bring in some of the biggest people in the world of crypto that are going to be talking and onboarding people on the simplicities of being involved in cryptocurrency and much more that goes into that. In addition to that, this one-time fee is going to give you the ability to be a part of everything in the future for Sossana. Now, you will have a period of 48 hours after this launches. Not after the token launches, but after the affiliate system launches. You will have a period of 48 hours to pay that $99 in the Sossana token. And then after that time period, it will go up to $149 for the basic subscription annually, or $249 for the premium subscription annually. So if you get in within the first 48 hours, and there'll be a lot of notice, trust me, but if you get in within the first 48 hours, you are going to have that capability of paying just that $99 in the Sossana token, and you will get premium access to everything in the Sossana ecosystem for life. Now, what can you do right now? Because you can't buy the Sossana token. So what can you do right now? If you like what we've talked about today, if you think it lines up with your ideologies of what makes sense with a token, with use case and utility. Oh, and by the way, the maximum supply of this token is 88,888,888, which is a symbol for infinity. So it's under 100 million in maximum supply. That right there should tell you that with the right demand, use case, and utility, this token has the capability of reaching some incredible heights. I'll leave it there with that. I don't want to give you any price predictions on what I think or anything like that. I just want to say that if you understand the mechanisms that are involved within this token, if you read the light paper and you really take your time to do that, because in my opinion, this is one of the best light papers I've ever read, and I've read a ton. So for me to say that really means something. And what can you do right now? Let's get back to that. So you can't buy the token. We know that already. But what you can do is, number one, you can get onto the Zoom calls that we have, or you can listen to a recorded one that we have. You can join the Telegram that we have. And right now, you can join the affiliate side completely for free. You don't have to pay anything out of pocket. You can pre-build a team should you choose to do that. Again, that's optional. But should you choose to do that, you can do that. And then once your team is pre-built and the affiliate system launches, you just pay that $99 in Sossana and you're good to go. So what do you really need? Ultimately, as a bare minimum for this project, is one of two things. Either $50 in Solana that you can immediately have ready to purchase within the next, I would say, 5 to 7 days, and an additional $100 in Solana that you can convert into Sossana, so that you would have that $99 covered. You would have the $50 covered, so that you could actually vote in all of these Sossana projects that are going to be nominated in the ecosystem, and you'd be all ready to go. So the minimum amount, in my opinion, that makes sense is $150 in Solana to have ready pretty soon. Now, because of what I know about this project, in my opinion, ultimately, I would say if you have the capability to put in a little bit more, it would make sense. Due to the influencers, due to the people that I know that are involved with this project that can move needles, I think it makes sense. But that's up to you. Whatever, you want to do with that and you think makes sense, that's your decision. So, here's the deal. I have a video that I did with my team, which goes over everything. We had a great attendance in this video. And you will be able to hear from the co-founder and some very important people on that call, including myself. And you will understand why it's very important to start paying attention to this token immediately. And I'm sure you probably get that after this Facebook Live. But if you don't, this will help. And then, if you choose to, if I brought you here, then you can sign up with my affiliate link. Or if someone else brought you here, you can get back to that person and you can sign up with their affiliate link. Those are your choices in what you can do. Okay? So, that's where we're at right now. You have that to your advantage. And trust me, it makes a lot of sense for you to pay attention to what we are talking about today. The co-founder is one of my very close friends. The founder is also somebody who I've known for the past 3.5 years, a man of great character. These are not stupid people in crypto. They're very smart. The new developer that they hired has worked on the Exodus wallet. If you don't know what the Exodus wallet is, it is a hot wallet that you are able to use to swap cryptocurrency on a daily basis, and is probably one of the most widely used wallets that has ever been created in the crypto ecosystem. And trust me, that is a big deal to have a developer from that project who actually has been on calls and has, shown his face and everything, and really actually knows what he's doing. And there's a big difference between the dev that they had before and the dev that they have now, because I've seen it. So, read the light paper, get onto our Zooms or watch the recorded one that I can provide, or someone else can provide you, and ultimately be educated. Because the most important thing in crypto, especially, is education. And we're giving you that capability here. We're giving you that capability to be educated. This Facebook Live is an education process for you. Because maybe you didn't know about Sossana at all. You didn't even know it existed. But now, after watching this Facebook Live, you are now educated to an extent to understand why this project will be successful. Right or wrong? All right, guys, that's it. I'm done. If you want more information, get back to me. Or if you want to find out more information and someone else brought you to this Facebook Live, then get back to that individual, as ethics is paramount. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Live out.